So I got a cow that just calved right over here on that bank. And this calf's trying to stand up and worried he's gonna stand up and fall right in the slough here. I need to get across there and hopefully just drag him back more into the open ground where he can get up and not drown. You you dumbass! Jeez. I'm gonna kick you in the head, you dumb shit. Well, she's not gonna win any Mother of the Year awards for sure. I still don't understand cows sometimes. Now I gotta wade back across this thing to get to the four-wheeler. Jeez. Well, that's one way to get a day going. Before I get going on fixing some fence, I want to show you guys what this flooding is doing and what things are looking like over on the Idaho side. So this is normally just a swale, and there's usually not any water in here. So I'm gonna run over here across the Tin Cup Bridge and see what that's looking like. So I don't think I've ever seen it like this before, at least not recently. So you look right across here, this is my neighbor's field. And here's Tin Cup. And here's our bridge getting over to this 30 acres. It's lapping right along the edge here. Kind of makes you worried about what's happening underneath there where all the bridge supports and stuff are. Later this summer, once the river goes down, I'll have to come back out here and show you guys how high this really is and what it normally looks like. Looking here, you can see how far it's eating back this bank as it dumps back into the river here. Here's a really good look of all this water coming across our field and dumping back into Tin Cup there. So this is a stretch of fence I'm working on today. I just call it the hayfield fence because it's here where our pivots are and where we do most of our farming. But it just goes down this way, goes all the way down to the river bottom. I don't know if you can really see them willows and trees down there. And it cuts back across over that corner. And it comes back down over to that corner there. It's just over 1.5 miles. So I'm just gonna walk it first with my hammer and staples and tack up any wires that have come down. Then I'll mark any of the broken wires with the ribbon. If I got a broken post, I'll mark that with ribbon also. And once I get done with that, I'll come back and grab the Dodge, and it's got my T-posts on here and wires and stretchers. Then I'll just drive to wherever my broken wires are or broken posts. Then I don't have to pack all the stuff with me. So for example, here I got my broken wire. So I just tie a ribbon up here where my wires broke. And I'll just keep going along and stapling up loose wires and pop staples. And we'll just make another round with the pickup, splice our wires and tighten sections that need to be tightened. Well, while I'm down here, I wanted to show you guys the river pasture and show you how much this grass is coming up. So we were just in here just about 8 days ago with that little Alice Chalmers tractor and the harrow. This is what it's looking like now. The grass has popped. Still isn't really tall, but it's getting nice and green. Maybe, looks like maybe 2-3 inches in some spots. This is my least favorite section of fence we got, just because these overgrown willows make it kind of rough. If a guy ever had some time, it'd be nice to come down here and cut them all down, but I don't ever have time for that. While I'm down here, I'll also show you what the Salt River is doing. As you can see, it's right at the bank. You can't get much higher without overflowing. I've got to keep an eye on the section of electric fence I've got put up down here. So I've lost this whole stretch of fence once because I didn't come down here often enough and check it, because this river coming around that corner eroded the bank so far that it just took out all my posts and my wire, sucked a bunch of wire down the river. So I'll need to come down here fairly often to just keep an eye on the banks and make sure they're not eroding too far back that they're gonna get that electric fence. So something interesting about Wyoming is a fence out state. So what that means is it's the landowner's responsibility to fence cattle out of his property. But of course I want to have nice fences also, and I don't want to be chasing my cows all over the place. So of course, we help put up fences and maintain fences. But if you ever get a neighbor or somebody that moves in and starts complaining that, hey, your cows are on my property, you can say, hey, it's a fence out state. You gotta take care of your own fences. It's a little interesting fact there. So for example, this fence here is a brand new fence that was just put in last summer. And this property that borders us just to the south used to be owned by my great uncle, but they sold out maybe 10-15 years ago. It's passed through a couple owners since then, but the most recent owner within the last few years purchased it. I think they're planning on putting in a 25 lot subdivision over here, and it's going to be a pretty high class subdivision, so they don't want cows in their subdivision, so they put up this nice fence to keep them out, and I'm more than happy to maintain it. I mean, they put it up, so I'm more than happy to maintain it and keep it up. It is pretty sad seeing this though. This was just being farmed 2 years ago. Now there's roads going through here. Wheel lines have been broke apart and stacked up and starting to get hauled off. This is gonna get filled up with $1 million houses. It's hard to see happen, and it's happening all over the valley. I don't know what you can really do about it. Well, I finished that section of fence, at least walking it and stapling it up. So tomorrow I'm gonna go back through with my pickup and go splice together all them wires and tighten other ones. But I gotta go feed the cows now, and Pepper's out of the pasture wanting her bottle. Come on, Pepper, come on. All right. We're using most equipment for farming, so I'm using my pickup to feed hay with right now. Just flake it off the back and have Lindsay drive for me. Here you go feed cows, mister.
Want to go feed cows?
Feed some cows?
Yeah.
Huh? Go feed some cows?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's been a few days since I've been able to get out here and finish splicing my wires together. I had to work for Old Dominion yesterday, then this morning we're down at Randall's, Brandon and vaccinating his calves. But I've got probably 10 or 12 splices I gotta make like this where the wires have broken. So I got my pad here so I don't have to kneel in the dirt and the rocks. Then, I got my stretchers and some extra wire. So the snow's what's hardest on our fences up here. So you can imagine, our snow usually comes up to these top couple wires, and as the snow melts, you get crusty layers, and those crusty layers kind of grab hold of your wire, and as that snow keeps melting and settling, it pulls your wire and pulls and pulls and pulls until it just stretches it and breaks it. And that's why I'm having to splice so many wires this winter, just because we had such a bad snow year that snow got so deep and it melted and it just pulled all these wires and snapped a bunch of these bottom two wires. So got a lot of splicing to do. So I'm just out here finishing the night trying to fix a little electric fence. I think I see a porcupine up here. It's kind of neat. I don't want to get much closer than that, especially with Issa being around. She might not listen next time and get a quill to her face. So once I get back to this pile of rocks behind me, that pretty much does it for the Wyoming side. Then all I've got left to fence is maybe three miles or so on the Idaho side, and I'll be about done for the spring fencing. Like I was saying before, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this fence as we keep on getting this high water, and I'm sure I'll have to come back down here once more before fall, before we bring the cows down here off the range and just go through things once more, because I won't know all the damage that this high water is going to do for at least another 3 or 4 weeks. And then after that, I'll be able to come down here and get things finished up, and we'll be ready for fall. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.